Cusco and Machu Picchu, two of the most iconic destinations in Peru, but they're also two of the most overlooked when it comes to truly experiencing everything they have to offer. In this video, we're walking you through our full 11-day trip, including what we did each day in Cusco, Calientes, and Machu Picchu, where we stayed, where we ate, and how we planned our time. Exactly what it all cost, from accommodations and tickets to Ubers and tips, plus practical tips to help you plan your own trip, especially if you're a slow traveler, empty nester, retirement traveler, or full-time nomads like us. We don't just hit the highlights, we share the real experiences, the things we'd do again, and what we might skip, and the mistakes we made. We're two traveling after one, a couple of empty nesters on a mission to explore the world and share all the tips we pick up along the way. Like and subscribe to our channel for everything slow and nomadic travel, practical tips, destination guides, and in-depth information to help you plan your next adventure. So here's how our Cusco and Machu Picchu adventure played out. We wrapped up our Peru Hop bus trip in Cusco and spent 11 days in the region, 6 nights in Cusco, 2 nights in Calientes for Machu Picchu, and 2 more nights back in Cusco before flying out. Now, we usually slow travel a little bit more than this. Friends of ours spent an entire month in Cusco, and honestly, we'd recommend doing that too. But this time, we were working around a fixed schedule. We had our daughter's graduation coming up in the States, and we wanted a little time in Mexico with our friends before heading home. That drove our pace for this leg of the trip. Even with the faster timeline, we felt like we got a good feel for Cusco, and we'd absolutely go back. It's a beautiful, walkable city full of history, great food, and plenty to do. And while most travelers rush through on their way to Machu Picchu, we're glad we gave Cusco a little bit more time. As for the altitude, yep, you'll feel it. We definitely noticed it hiking around, but we didn't get sick. We sipped cocoa tea, chewed coca leaves, and we think Peru Hop helped us ease into the elevation by gradually ascending from sea level. You can learn more about how we did that in our Peru Hop video, which we'll link below. Before we jump into what we did each day, let's talk timing. Because when you visit Cusco and Machu Picchu, it makes a big difference. We were in Cusco from the middle to the end of March, right at the tail end of the rainy season. And this year, it was wet. The Inca Trail was closed while we were there, and we definitely had some rainy afternoons and cool nights. But honestly, we still think it's a great time to visit. First, it was low season, which meant fewer crowds. That made a huge difference, especially in places like Machu Picchu and the Sacred Valley. And second, prices were noticeably lower across the board, from hotels to tickets to food. If you're a slow traveler or planning on spending more time in the region, March might be a great option to stretch your budget and avoid the high season crowds. Let's talk about where we stayed. We booked our accommodations through Booking.com and found a 1-bedroom apartment right in Cusco's historic center. It came with a full kitchen, which we always appreciate, and included free breakfast every morning, which was a nice bonus. We paid $419.26 for 8 nights, which worked out to just under $53 a night. For a private apartment in a central location, it felt like a great value, especially in the low season. We chose the spot for 2 main reasons. 1, it was close to the Inca Rail station, which made our Machu Picchu trip much easier. And 2, it was right in Old Town, so we could walk just about everywhere. That said, a quick tip if you're booking a place in Cusco: check the elevation of the neighborhood. Cusco is a city built on hills, and you'll definitely notice it. Some of the more popular areas, like San Blas, the Miradors, and the ruins just outside of town, are all uphill from the historic center. After arriving the night before on our Peru Hop, our first full day in Cusco was all about soaking in the historic center and getting our bearings at 11,000 feet.
The Plaza de Armas in Cusco. We figured out that there's pretty much a Plaza de Armas in every single city that we've been to on our South American tour, and each one is more stunning than the last.
We started at the Plaza de Armas, and then made our way and followed the scenic uphill streets to the Mirador San Cristobal. And from there, we just kept going up. We climbed the hill to Cristo's Blanco, a 26-foot Christ statue that watches over the city. It's a peaceful spot with sweeping views of Cusco and the surrounding hills, and it made for a great first hike, although we definitely felt the altitude. Along the way, we passed the entrance to Saqsaywaman, one of the most important Incan ruins in the region and one of the big ticket items on the Cusco tourist pass. And that's when we learned an important lesson. To buy the full tourist pass at the entrance, you need your passport, and it's cash only. And we had neither. So instead of going into the ruins, we explored Cristo Blanco, took in the views, and made a plan to come back the next day better prepared. We headed back into town and visited Concha, one of the richest temples in the entire Incan Empire. Its gold long gone, but a masterful Inca stonework remains. Built without mortar and fitted so precisely that you couldn't slide a piece of paper between the stones, the Spanish built over it using mortar, and the contrast between the two styles is striking. Entry is 20 soles per person, and it's not included in the tourist ticket. Inside, there's an impressive collection of religious art, but no photos or videos are allowed. Guides wait outside offering tours, but we explored on our own, picking up details from the many tour groups moving through. Since our apartment came with breakfast every morning, we didn't need much in the way of food, but we did stop at a local shop to grab some essentials: water, coffee, soda, and cocoa, spending 119 soles in total. That night, in preparation for the next day, we tracked down something worth noting: a fee-free ATM. They're rare in Cusco, but we found one and used our Charles Schwab debit card, which refunds any fees we incur. If you're looking to avoid extra cost, it's always worth hunting down one early. Armed with cash and our passports, we headed back up the hill. This time with a few fellow nomads we'd first met in Santiago, Chile, to try again at Saqsaywaman. We bought the full Cusco tourist ticket, which gives you access to 16 sites in and around Cusco in the Sacred Valley. It's good for 10 days, costs 130 soles, or about $36, and again, they only accept cash and require your passport at purchase. The walk up is about 30 minutes from the historic center, and while it's steep, it's also beautiful. Once inside, Saqsaywaman is a sprawling with terraces, towers, and some seriously impressive stonework. As we explored, we noticed figures shaped from the stones in the walls: pumas, snakes, even llamas, part of Inca symbolism. If you go, definitely take your time and keep your eyes open for those details. One of the unexpected highlights: a set of natural stone slides, smoothed by time into the hillside. Dan was brave enough to try one, and it was fast, fun, and totally unexpected. We wrapped up the day with a late lunch at Paddy's Irish Pub, which proudly claims to be the highest 100% Irish-owned pub in the world. We had wings, a Guinness, and some local beers, totaling 77 soles. We tackled some further out ruins today, using a mix of Uber, walking, and collectivos to create our own self-guided Sacred Valley light loop.
We're here in one of the unbelievable Incan ruins that are outside the city of Cusco. There's about 6 of them that are all accessible within 20 minutes. You can take a cab or Uber up here, and there's a tourist pass for 130 soles that will get you entry into all of them. It's definitely worth checking out.
We started the day with a 50 sole Uber ride to Tambouche, which is the furthest ruin in the group and a great place to begin if you're working your way back into town. We split the cost of Uber with our friends, which made it an affordable and easy way to ride up. From Tambouche, we worked our way back towards town, stopping at each ruin along the way.
All right, we're here outside of Cusco, and we're exploring all of the Inca ruins that are in this area.
We visited Tambouche, known for its water features and ceremonial fountains; Pucara, which was a small but strategic hilltop outpost; Temple of the Moon, beautifully quiet and mysterious; and Cuenco, with its carved rock altars and twisting pathways. Between the sites, we walked or took collectivos, which are local shared vans that stop right outside each ruin's entrance. They're clearly marked, easy to use, and cost just 2 soles per person. One of them dropped us off on Avenida Calasoyo, and from there we walked the rest of the way back into the historic center. Just as we got back into town, we stumbled into one of Cusco's many spontaneous feeling parades. This one featured dancer bands and a festive chaos, and we saw several parades like this during our stay. And the most memorable? A foam parade, where absolutely no one was safe. Locals, tourists, even bystanders got sprayed with foamy soap. It was chaotic, hilarious, and totally Cusco. That night, we finished the day with dinner at Muley, a second-floor Peruvian restaurant overlooking the Plaza de Armas and Cusco Cathedral. We ordered a charcuterie board, a bottle of wine, and some beautifully grilled meats, for 518 soles total. It was a great way to cap off the day with good food and even better company. Time for a little adventure. Our friends booked an ATV tour for $39 to the Moray ruins and the Maris salt mines, and we decided to join them. It started with a quick training session to make sure everyone was comfortable on the ATV. Nothing too wild, just dirt roads and scenic pathways through the highlands. Our first stop was Moray, one of the most unique Inca sites we visited. These massive circular terraces were once used for experimental agriculture, testing how different crops would grow at different elevations. It's an incredible example of Incan engineering and planning. The entry fee is 130 soles if you're paying out of pocket, but it was included in our Cusco tourist pass. From there, we continued on to the Maris salt mines, also known as Salernas de Maras.
The Maris salt mines are about 25 miles outside of Cusco. These mines all offer scenic views and also an inside look into the salt harvesting techniques that have been used since the Incan times.
Entry to the salt mines was 20 soles per person, and it's not part of the tourist pass. The salt ponds are an ancient system of evaporation pools still in use today. What's special is that only families from the Maris community are allowed to operate them, passing down ownership through the generations.
There are hundreds of terraced salt pools here, and they are filled by this natural spring that comes down from the mountains. The water is about 95 degrees Fahrenheit and is saltier than the ocean.
We spent about 30 minutes at the mines, took in the views, and browsed the nearby market stalls where the locals sell everything from salts and soaps to chocolate and souvenirs. We picked up soap and chocolate for 42 soles and some quinoa for 25 soles. Just a note, the road in and out of the salt mines is narrow and busy, and with a lot of tour vans coming and going, so expect a bit of a wait to get through that section. Back in Cusco, we went back to Jack's Cafe for dinner. Burgers and a slice of carrot cake to share for 122 soles. We also stopped at a shop nearby and grabbed a few souvenir stickers for 37 soles, which we love collecting from every destination. After a few packed days, we took today at a slower pace. We spent the afternoon exploring Hatun Rumak Street, one of Cusco's most favorite and photographed streets. It's best known for the 12-angle stone, an iconic example of Incan stonework where each side fits perfectly into the surrounding wall without mortar. But there's more to this street than just one stone. We had fun exploring and wandering and looking for hidden figures in the ancient walls. A serpent, a famous 12-angle stone, an elephant, and a few others if you looked closely. It was a nice, quiet scavenger hunt in the middle of town. The soundtrack to our walk? A harpist playing nearby, adding to the already magical vibe of Cusco's historic center. From Hatun Rumiak, we kept wandering the scenic streets that climb towards San Blas. Narrow lanes, blue doors, flower boxes, and those classic whitewashed walls that make Cusco so photogenic. We made a quick stop at Calle 7 Borguitos, one of Cusco's most photographed corners. It's the spot where two cobblestone streets meet at the corner of a single building. Framed by colorful balconies and flowers, it's a simple scene, but it captures the feel of the neighborhood perfectly, and it's an easy place to grab a photo as you stroll. Then we continued meandering through the lanes, just soaking up everyday Cusco. Quiet doorways, little courtyards, and locals going about their day. It's one of the reasons we love slow travel. You don't need to have a plan to find something worth stopping for. That night, we had dinner at Pancha Papa, one of our favorite meals in Cusco. They served traditional Peruvian dishes in a beautiful courtyard setting, and the atmosphere and service made the whole experience even better. The dinner for the four of us was 388 soles. Today we left Cusco and headed to Machu Picchu, but this leg of the trip took a little more planning than most. Luckily, our apartment host let us leave our larger luggage in the apartment and even keep our key since we'd be returning. That's something we recommend. Book the same place for before and after your Machu Picchu visit. Most hosts will hold your bags while you're away, but it's worth confirming this in advance. Planning a trip to visit Machu Picchu is more involved than you might expect. You'll need to coordinate several moving pieces: entry tickets to the site, your train tickets, a guide, bus tickets, and a place to stay, and everything needs to line up. We started by booking our entry tickets to Machu Picchu. We recommend doing this first since spots easily sell out, especially in high season. They do release 1,000 day-of tickets each morning, but people line up overnight to get them, so we chose to plan ahead. Once we had our entry time, we booked our train tickets. You could choose between Peru Rail or Inca Rail, and they both offer similar service. We compared prices and booked Inca Rail's Voyager class at the lowest price departure times. We decided to stay 2 nights in Calientes, the town at the base of Machu Picchu, and that gave us enough time to travel in, explore, visit the site, and return to Cusco without rushing. We also decided to book a guide, which was an added cost of $84.
Agua Calientes is also known as Machu Picchu Puebla. This is where the train from Cusco arrives to take you to Machu Picchu. From here you catch a bus, which takes you up to the ruins. We're going to be spending 2 nights here, visiting Machu Picchu tomorrow, hopefully some hot springs, and then we're going to head back to Cusco.
We get a lot of questions about what side of the train to sit on. On the way to Agua Calientes, the left side of the train runs along the river, and on the way back, it's the right. The views were nice, but not as dramatic as we expected, so we're glad we skipped the panoramic train upgrade. We packed light, just our small backpacks, and left our larger bags behind in Cusco. Small trains and buses mean limited storage. Most travelers only had a backpack. Inside, we packed the essentials: bug spray, sunscreen, our passports, bathing suits, hiking shoes, waterproof jackets, and layers for comfort. And even in the summer, the temperature dropped at night, and the weather could change quickly, from sunny to rainy, in a matter of minutes. We walked from our apartment to the Inca Rail station about 30 minutes before departure. That's where we checked in, picked up our bus and train tickets, and the waiting area had coffee, tea, and Wi-Fi. Once we boarded, we rode a 12-passenger van for about 2 hours through the Sacred Valley. There was a stop along the way at a scenic lookout with bathrooms for one soul and vendors selling local goods. The road was narrow and winding with a steady stream of vans and buses, so expect the ride to be slow but scenic. At the train station, there was a short wait, about 15 minutes before boarding. Everyone just hung out near the waiting area until a train employee appeared, holding a large sign with the train number. Once they called us, we followed the group on a short walk through town and down to the platform. The train itself was comfortable, and during the ride, there was a cultural dance performance, along with a snack and beverage cart where you could purchase drinks and snacks. We arrived in Aguas Calientes and checked into Payacha Bed and Breakfast, right on the river. We paid a total of $84.24 for the 2 nights in a riverview room, and breakfast was included. The room was clean, and the bed was comfortable, and although the river was loud, we didn't notice it much once our window was closed. Our host even got up early to make us breakfast before our 6 a.m. departure to Machu Picchu. That afternoon, we explored Agua Calientes. It's a small town, but we enjoyed wandering through its shops, visiting the soccer field, checking out the thermal springs up by the top of the town, and there were some interesting plaques and signs around that share local history if you slow down and look for them. We also bought our round-trip bus tickets to Machu Picchu that day. You can purchase them at the Eco Bus office in town. and you'll need your passport to do it. That night, we had dinner at Full House, just a few doors down from our hotel. The food was great, and we got a table with a view of the river. We ordered quinoa soup, a corn appetizer, chaufa with chicken, a pisco sour, and a chicha morada. The total for dinner came to 204 soles. It was finally time to visit Machu Picchu, and we were up early to catch one of the first buses to the site.
We're here in Aguas, and we're getting ready to go tour Machu Picchu. So we got up early. We had enjoyed the free breakfast at our hotel. We've got our packs ready, and we're about to head up on the bus to go visit Machu Picchu.
Here's how taking the bus works. Buy your ticket in advance at the EcoBus office in Aguas Calientes. The ticket isn't for a specific time. You just get in line the morning of your entry window. In town, there are signs posted along the street showing you exactly where to line up based on your ticket time slot. We had 7 a.m. Machu Picchu tickets, so we got in line around 6:10 a.m. and were on the 6:30 bus. This was at the end of the rainy season, so it wasn't too busy, but during the high season, those lines can stretch all the way down the street and waits can be much longer. You can also hike up to the site if you're feeling adventurous. It starts with a 20-minute walk out of town, across the river, and then a 1.5 to 2 hour uphill hike to the entrance, mostly stone stairs and steep inclined paths. If you hike, bring plenty of water and prepare for a climb. The bus ride takes 30 minutes and drops you at the main entrance of Machu Picchu. Right at the entrance, there's a bathroom for 2 soles, which is the last one you'll see. There are none inside of the site. Luggage storage for 5 soles, and ponchos and water for sale for 6 soles.
Machu Picchu.
We met our guide outside our hotel and toured the site with him for about 3.5 hours. It was worth every penny. He helped us time the route for the best views, was incredibly knowledgeable, and didn't rush us. His tip at the end of the day was 100 soles, and we felt this was well earned. We followed Circuit 2A, which gave us the full experience, those iconic viewpoints, the temples, and plenty of time to explore and take photos. The clouds rolled in and out while we were there, creating an ever-changing scene. We could see why this place is a wonder of the world. It was absolutely stunning. Just outside the entrance, you'll also find the Belmont Sanctuary Lodge, a hotel similar to the one at Iguazu Falls, but it's worth noting it's closing at the end of 2025 and being replaced with a new interactive center dedicated to Machu Picchu. No official opening date has been announced yet. After finishing our tour, we headed back to Aguas Calientes the same way we came, by bus. At the exit, there's a bus stop in the same place where we were dropped off earlier in the morning. This is where you'll line up to board for the ride back into town. If you've misplaced your bus ticket, or if you only bought a one-way ticket on the way up, there's also a ticket office right at the stop where you can purchase another. The tickets are just a printed sheet of paper with both your outbound and return rides on it, so be sure to hold on to it for the day. You'll need it again to get back. Once we boarded, it was the same 30-minute ride down the winding road, and we were dropped right back in the center of Aguas Calientes, just a short walk from our hotel. Just outside the entry gate, there's also a trail leading back to Aguas Calientes, a 1.5 to 2 hour walk that passes through the museum. That's a great option if you want to hike one direction, but not both. That afternoon, we walked to the hot springs in Aguas Calientes, a great way to unwind after a long day on your feet. The entry was 20 soles per person, and there were lockers for bag storage and several pools to rotate through. Each one is at a different temperature, some with pebble bottoms, and you can move freely from pool to pool. It reminded us a lot of the hot springs in San Miguel de Allende, which was another one of our favorite soak spots. We spent a few hours relaxing here before dinner. That night, we had dinner at Chulos, just down the street from our hotel. We shared a few dishes. A fresh ceviche with the fish of the day, sweet potato, corn, and crispy squid rings, a grilled chicken breast with a truffle mushroom sauce and a 4-cheese pasta, and a slow-cooked ossobuco featuring beans, rice, and plantain chips. Dinner came to 280 soles, and it was a great way to end the day. Before leaving Aguas Calientes, we finally made it to Machu Picchu Museum, which is located about a 30-minute walk from town, just past the trailhead to hike up the ruins.
Included in your Machu Picchu ticket is access to this small museum with artifacts from Machu Picchu. You can access it after noon on the same day as your Machu Picchu ticket. You can just ask the bus driver to drop you off at the museum, and then it's about a 30-minute walk back to town, or you can catch the bus again and take a ride back into town.
This is one tip we wish we'd known sooner. Entry's free from 12 to 4 p.m. with a valid same-day Machu Picchu ticket. Since our ticket was from the day before, we had to pay 22 soles per person, and yes, you'll need your passport to enter, just like Machu Picchu. We chose to walk from town, and on the way back we passed a craftsman carving small stone sculptures and another photo-worthy Machu Picchu sign. Back in town, we stopped at La Boulangerie de Paris for a late snack before the train. We shared a sandwich, chocolate coconut crepes, and milkshakes. It was a great little spot to fill up before the ride back. At the train station, we browsed the artisan market just outside the platform and picked up a few last-minute souvenirs. A hat for 60 soles, a scarf for 30, and a pencil bag for another 30. Just before we were about to board, I had a sudden thought, I don't have my headphones. I pulled up, find my iPhone, and sure enough, there they were, still at the hotel. I grabbed my ticket from Dan and ran back, hoping I'd make it back in time. Thankfully, our host had set them aside, waiting in a drawer for me. I ran back and made it back just in time to board. The return train ride was uneventful. No snack cart, no dance show, and no bathroom break at the lookout like on the way up. So if you're planning this trip, make sure you use the bathroom before boarding the vans. Once we arrived back in Ollantaytambo, we did the same transfer in reverse, walked from the train to the minivan lot, and took the 2-hour van ride back to Cusco. Back in Cusco, dinner that night was takeout shawarma wraps from Sajar, about a block from our apartment, for 43 soles. Quick, easy, and it hit the spot. We spent our last full day in Cusco doing what we love most, wandering without much of a plan. We started the morning exploring a few of the museums included in our Cusco tourist ticket. They're scattered around the historic center and offer a mix of art, history, and culture, all within easy walking distance. It was a nice way to use up those last bits of value from our pass while seeing the quieter side of Cusco beyond the big-name ruins. After the museums, we made our way to the San Pedro market.
Welcome to the heart of Cusco, the vibrant, chaotic, and completely captivating Mercado de San Pedro.
It was as lively and colorful as ever, aisles overflowing with fresh fruit, spices, souvenirs, and sizzling street food. It's the kind of place that pulls you in with its sounds and smells, whether you're hunting for last-minute gifts or just soaking up the atmosphere. From there, we headed to the Paca store. This stop was a bit special for me because I've owned a Paca original crew sweater for years. It's one of my travel favorites for when we travel in cooler climates. I first discovered the brand when I was searching for versatile, durable clothing for our nomad life. Their pieces are 100% handmade by Peruvian seamstresses using natural materials, and they're designed to be all-purpose staples that you can wear anywhere. Visiting their only store in Cusco felt like a full-circle moment, and I finally got to see their products in person and feel the textures. And as if that wasn't enough, the store also has a coffee shop tucked inside. We couldn't resist stopping for a cacao mochaccino, rich, chocolatey, and the perfect little indulgence for our last afternoon in town. The drink was 16 soles and worth every sip. We capped off the day with one more stroll through the city, passing the historic gate and catching yet another parade. Just one more reminder of the energy and life that makes Cusco such a joy to explore. Oh, and we picked up a couple of alpaca blankets for 310 soles, soft and warm, as gifts for family members. Our time in Cusco had come to an end. We spent the morning packing up, took one last walk through town, and soaked up the views one more time. Before leaving, we had dinner at Cusique, one of the favorite restaurants we'd enjoy earlier in the trip. We ordered chicha morada, ceviche, lomo rossini, and grilled alpaca. After dinner, we ordered an Uber to the airport that cost 16 soles, and from there, we boarded our 12:50 a.m. flight to Lima, followed by a 5 a.m. flight to Mexico City, both on LATAM. The flight to CDMX was actually booked through British Airways using our American Express Platinum points. A good reminder that travel hacking can still come in handy no matter where you are. So that wraps up our 11-day adventure in Cusco and Machu Picchu, a trip packed with incredible scenery, Incan history, great food, and a few logistical puzzles along the way. As always, we like to be transparent about what full-time travel really costs, so here's our budget breakdown for 2 people. We spent $577.80 on accommodations. That's 6 nights in Cusco and 2 nights in Aguas Calientes, including breakfast each morning. Eating out came to $637.02, which covered lunch and dinner every day. We spent $32.77 on groceries, just coffee, water, and a few snacks, since most breakfasts were included. Health and wellness was zero this month, though we recommend taking altitude seriously. We managed fine with coca tea, but altitude medication is a good backup if you're prone to issues. We spent $13.40 on phone and Wi-Fi this month, recharging our eSIM with GigSky. For entertainment, we spent $337.04, which included our ATV tour to Moray, the Machu Picchu entry tickets, our 2 Cusco tourist passes, and our guide at Machu Picchu. Transportation was $326.93, mostly for the Incan rail train and the bus transfers to and from Aguas Calientes. We spent $150.52 on shopping, including souvenirs, alpaca blankets, a few things like a hat and a scarf from local artisan markets. That brings our total for 11 days to $2,045.48. That works out to $185.95 per day, or $92.98 per person per day. We didn't include the cost to get to or from Cusco in this budget. Our Peru hop tour to Cusco is covered in another video, and the flight leaving Cusco will be included in our upcoming Mexico City budget video. We absolutely loved our time at Machu Picchu. It's every bit as stunning as the photos and truly worth the effort to get there. It does take some planning, especially if you want to secure the best entry time and circuit, and we'd recommend avoiding the high season if possible. Visiting in the shoulder or rainy season gave us fewer crowds, better prices, and a more relaxed experience. Leaving Peru was bittersweet. We've loved our time here. Between Lima, the Sacred Valley, and Cusco, it's a country we'd happily return to. But the beauty of full-time travel is there's always something new ahead. Next, we're heading to Mexico City for 6 weeks. It's our 3rd time back, and we're looking forward to revisiting some old favorites, exploring new neighborhoods, and sharing all the food, history, and experiences we discover along the way. As always, we'll also be breaking down exactly what it costs to spend that much time in one of the world's most vibrant cities. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It really helps more people find our channel. And if you're new here, subscribe and ring the bell so that you don't miss our upcoming Mexico City videos, plus more slow travel story tips and real budgets from around the world. Thanks for watching and happy travels.